up and coming, 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 up and coming. I'm that new chick, don't you wanna hate? She's up coming, and coming, up 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 and coming. They try to come for me, but I never take the bait. Joan Confession, Joan Confessions, Joan Confession, Joan Confessions, Joan Confession, Joan Confession. Take a few lessons on being you and staying true. Oh, that's all to it. Alright. Now grab you a seat and enjoy this treat. Oh.
Well, tonight I just thought that I'd do something that just say, look at her.
Joan is in the building. Love it or just hate. Either way, I'm still great. Hello you guys. I know I didn't, I've been so busy I didn't really get a chance to update y'all on all the strawberries and lemonade with me. But here's some strawberries and lemonade, that happened like a few weeks ago. That, I never got a chance to come in my confessional and talk about. So, now I'm going to talk about it. Okay. Alright, well one night, I was coming back. Where was I coming? I think I was coming from the bar. And I was drunk. When I tell y'all this situation, it's just gag. The name of this is going to be called Gag Nation. And Gag Nation is when everybody that's in the picture at the present time is gagging. And that's what this whole situation was about. So anyway, I was coming from the bar or whatever, and this guy in this nice car stopped me. And usually when people in nice cars, I keep it moving because 9 times out of 10 they broke your shit or they ain't trying to spend no money, or it's always something with guys that be in a nice car. There's always a little catch to them. But then I actually had heels on or whatever, so my feet was actually kind of sore. So he kind of pulled up at the right moment. So, I was like, yeah, what's up? He was like, you need a ride? I was like, sure, I need a ride. And mind you, I'm dissecting the whole situation. He looked good, he looked real good. I thought, so I got in the car, but you know me, I don't care how good you look. If it ain't about, alright. But anyway, so I got in the car or whatever. And he was kind of like hip to the game. He already knew what time it was, you know what I mean? And I didn't really have to say much. He was like, look, I got so-and-so, you know what I mean? You trying to do something, blah, 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 blah. And it's crazy because at the time he picked me up, I really wasn't trying to do nothing. I was just, on my way home, but after, dissecting him or whatever and realizing how good he looked, I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, you bringing how much to the table? I'm like, okay, well, we can work something out. So, now, mind you, before I left out that night, my neighbors was out. And they told me they was going to be out till like 5 or whatever. So, they all out on the block having a good time, blah, 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 blah. So, I'm like, so where we going to go? That's what I said to him. He was like, we can go. Hold on. Hello? Okay, here I come. I'll be right back, you guys. Wow, that worked out perfectly because my damn batteries in this camera was exhausted. I would have never even known when I would have been talking and realized it cut off for me and wouldn't be talking. So actually good, that I had to, step away for a minute. Now, so where did I leave off? So we got in the car, but so we was figuring out, he was like, we going to your place? I was like, well, we can, because one thing about me, I know how you download guys operate. And, well, he not even on the download, apparently. But, I handle every, new guy as if he's on the download. Because, you just never know nowadays with these guys. As long as you come in correct, you could be on the download all day long. Your secret is safe with me. So anyway, you know, I kept in mind that, you know, it was kind of like popping on my block at that night. So I'm like, you know, well, we could go to my place, but, you know, it's a lot of activity going on, so I don't know if you mind being seen by people. You know, you might run into somebody you know or whatever. I know how you like to keep a low profile, whatever. I was like, what about you? Who do you live with? He's like, well, I live with a roommate. So I'm like, well, is your place fine? You want to go back? I was like, you know, you want to go back to your place? He was like, all right. I was like, but I said, you live alone? He said, well, I'm alone for the night. I said, okay, well, let's just go to your place. He was like, all right. So we went to his place. Y'all get your strawberry and lemonade out already. As soon as I walked through the door, suspicion was already being raised. And I know y'all like, you just went to this guy's house, like, you better be careful, da da da. Y'all know I'm a good judge of character. If I felt like I couldn't handle myself in any kind of situation with this guy, trust and believe we wouldn't have went nowhere in the car together. You know, so anyway. So we went to his place or whatever. So, you know, I'm looking around and I noticed it was one bedroom. So I'm like, so where do your roommate sleep? He was like, oh, in here in the bedroom. I said, oh, so you sleep on the couch? He was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, I'm processing everything, so I'm thinking. So I'm like, you know, maybe him and his roommate fucking. You know, y'all know how these guys roll, be like, oh yeah, I'm going to hang out with my homie, or my boys, my mans, da da da. And at the end of the day, they fucking their mans or their homie. Y'all know how the game go. For y'all who don't, that's how it goes. So I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, so they must be messing around. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, it was just all kinds of stuff processing through my head at the moment. So, you know, he used the bathroom, and I was thinking like, it was like in the middle of the living room. It was a separation from the living room and the bedroom, and then further down was the bathroom. I was standing right there. You know, I'm just standing, you know, dissecting everything, scoping everything out, observing, being an excellent observer that I am. So he came out the bathroom. This is where it gets good. This is the part where it gets real hot. So I hear the door. Like the door was like literally right here. Well, let me say. You walk in, it's the living room, then you kind of move over, it's like the middle, the separation. So I was like in a separation. And the further down was the door. He was coming down from out of the bathroom. So no, I'm just standing there scoping the whole scene out, and then I hear the door open. And it's just like, it was like I couldn't move. I'm like, oh my God, what is really about to go down? So, you know, I'm just, you know, of course I'm getting ready to go to war, because I ain't know what type time this guy was on. So I ain't know if it was some, you know, if he, well, I kind of, you know, like I said, I went off his energy. So I knew for the most part, you know, I didn't put myself in a dangerous situation. But I still didn't know who was behind that door. So, you know, I'm just like preparing for the unpredictable. The door opened. It was a girl. It was a lady at the motherfucking door. Yes. When I said, and it was crazy because it was just like, you ever react to situations before you realize you react to it? Like, you ever talk before you think, or before you realize you talk, then you kind of think back like, dad, where did that come from? It's like, there's something in you. Oh my goodness, who calling me now? Hold on, you guys. I don't feel like that right now. Anyway, that's a joke. I just did what I. Anyway, yeah. So it was a lady who walked through the door. So like I said, the words left my mouth before I even realized they left my mouth. I was like, oh shit. You know, that's literally the words that came out my mouth. And he looking like he was gagging, she was gagging. That's what you call gagnation, because all three of us was gagging. And then, you know, I'm looking, he looking, like he just had like, you know, like he was just annoyed, like he knew he made his bed that he got to lie in, and he dreading lying in it. So when I looked at her or whatever, and you know, she just made like her face was just it just started expressing all this emotion came upon her face, and then she just took off and started pumping it, left. So, you know, that kind of made me more at ease. I'm like, oh, this ain't gotta fight. Because I wasn't trying to fight, but I didn't know how crazy this bitch was. Because, you know, some dumb females, they straight attack the female. Like, you know, first of all, he told me he was kind of slick with it. Because he didn't really tell me the complete truth. He said he had a roommate. But, you know, that's why it's not good to assume. That's why I always tell people never assume. And never assume until you get the, you know, the facts. But, you know, I was guilty of assuming because when he said roommate, I just figured it was a male. Lord and behold, was a freaking female. And I said, no wonder, you know, the pieces of the puzzles wasn't adding up. You know, I'm looking at this place, I'm like, this is a one bedroom. I'm like, come on, you and the guy, like, what's going on? What kind of roommates are y'all? So anyway, hold up, it gets better. It gets deeper, y'all. Y'all ain't hear nothing yet. So like I said, she left up with a black people was like on the 3rd floor. So wherever she went outside, she was loud as hell. Like she like somebody was killing her. That's how loud she screamed on the top of her lung. So you know, I'm feeling like, I'm feeling awkward in the whole situation. I'm like, oh my goodness, he really just put me in this situation. I'm like, these men is just so messy. Like if you would have just kept it real, we could have just went to my place. You know, we ain't even have to go. The only reason why we ain't go to my place is because it was just too much activity going on my block at the moment. And, you know, I'm trying to help you keep your little profile. But had I known I was walking into the Lion's Den, you know, if I knew I was walking into Gag Nation, we would have just went to my place. Screw all them outside. But anyway. So, you know, it was kind of like a little weird, awkward silence. You know, he like mad, you know, I could tell he was pissed off. So he was like, I'm just going to take you home. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So, you know, we get in the car or whatever, we're driving. So we started talking more. And this when more of the strawberry lemonade started coming out. So I was like, what, how coincidental she pops up when we there? I said, thank God we wasn't doing anything. He was like, she wasn't even supposed to, you know, be home tonight. I was like, well, where was she supposed to be? He was like, she's supposed to be in the hotel working. I was like, working? He was like, yeah. He was like, she's an escort. I was like, oh, so then I started putting the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm like, no wonder he knew the game so well. No wonder, you know, he was like on point. I didn't have to like, you know, I ain't have to, like, he already knew what time it was, basically. You know, I didn't have to be like, well, you got some money, He already knew what time it was. And, you know, it was kind of, like, that kind of took me through. I'm like, what? Somebody actually know the game? Somebody actually ain't trying to get over? Like, what's going on? But the reason why he knew it so well, this girl that walked in or whatever, she was a TS. Yes. She was a TS, a trans woman also. She fooled the hell out of me. Because like I said, I was in Gag Nation at the time when I seen the girl. But she looked like a female. She was pretty. She was skinny. She was light-skinned. You know, had a nice little fatigue. I thought it was just a beautiful light-skinned girl. Come to find out, not only was it a beautiful light-skinned girl, it was a beautiful trans woman. So I'm like, oh, snap. So, you know, that makes this situation even more, you know, even more deep. I'm like, so she's, you know, I'm like, so you openly, they changed her, but he was like, well, yeah, none of my people know, da. I was like, well, I probably would have picked up on her eventually if she would have started talking. He was like, no, you wouldn't. I was like, oh, well, you know, kudos to her. She can pull it off that good. That's what's up, you know. But anyway. So I'm like, yes, she's a trainer. I'm like, so she was, so I'm like, okay, so if she was, you know, doing her thing, how she's mad that you doing your thing? He was like, well, our rule is not to bring nobody to the house. I'm like, yeah, they're not supposed to bring nobody to the house. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, okay, makes sense. So, you know, long story short, he went to go drop me off. I was about to get out the car, and of course, this voluptuous body caught his attention. And he was like, damn, I'm already in trouble. I might as well, you know, go all the way. And you know me, only thing I'm thinking about is that moolah, you know, at the same time he did look good. So that was just a plus that he looked good. But money is a motive. So I'm, you know me, I'm like, oh really? I'm like, yeah, you is already in trouble. you know me, you know, persuading him or whatever. Cause you know, I'm like, fuck it, you know, you already in trouble. Just fuck you, hate me. That's all I care about. So anyway, He was like, fuck it. He got out the car, you know, we ended up going. And then it was crazy because, you know, when I said there was a lot of activity going on my block, by the time he dropped me off, I went up there and took the party a little further down the street or whatever. And it kind of made me look like a liar at first. It was like, well, he was like, if I known that, we could have just went to your place. I don't give a fuck about these people. You know, and then I know he actually openly date trans women or whatever. I would have known that to begin with. I would have, all right, we can go to my place. But like I said, these men is just so sketchy. You never know with them. Some of them be all on the low. Some of them don't be caring. You know, some of them be real men and just don't care. But some of them be bitches and on the low. So, like I said, I don't be knowing. But had I would have known that, then all this could have been avoided. Anyway. So, you know, it was like when you pulled I ain't see nobody out. So it kind of made me look like a liar when I said what I said. I was like, no, it was a whole bunch of people out when I came out. And I remember I talked to the lady that lived across the street. She said the party was going on till 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. But then when I looked further down, I was like, see, look, there they go right there. I'm not lying. You know, I was hyped because I hate when I made it look like a liar when I know I'm far from lying. So anyway, we get in my place. She starts calling. Calling. Then I'm starting to get annoyed. I'm like, okay, what is going on with this girl? Like, is you desperate? Like, first of all, you just court. Had it would have been me, I'm just so nonchalant. I was like, don't mind me, y'all. Get back to doing what y'all doing. You know, and I would have been getting my things and, you know, getting the fuck up out of here. And that would have been the last time he would have seen me. But, you know, I know people handle things differently or whatever. So, you know, but she kept calling his phone. I'm thinking, I'm like, why is you calling his phone, sweetie? He don't give a fuck about you. He just left with me. That should tell you something. Like, you know, you was he'll rather pay for what you can give him for free. So, like, there's your answer. Why do you even feel like you need this guy in your life? But come to find out, no, she lives with him, so I guess, you know, that was her roof over her head, so I guess she just wanted to make sure. I don't know what she was trying to make sure of, but all I know, she kept calling him, and she was messing his head up, you know, kind of messing up the whole vibe or whatever. He's like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do this. He's like, I'm just going to smoke this L with you, and he's like, I'm going to be out. I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm always in the smoke. Yeah, whatever, so. I kind of care, but then I kind of really didn't care, because I didn't really want all that drama, you know. Anyway, so all it took was for me to walk across the room, and, you know, he just took in all this body. He said, you know, fuck it. So, it was what it was. And, what did I leave out? Oh yeah, I don't understand. Child technology is starting to scare me, because this is like the 3rd time I don't court somebody trying to record me as I'm, you know, walking around naked. Y'all know I like to walk around naked. And basically, you know, we were smoking or whatever, turning up, we was getting a little more comfortable. So, you know, eventually I was in my birthday suit, and I had the music going. I was just in my own little bubble, you know, dancing or whatever. And I noticed, like, you know, I noticed he was looking at me, and I noticed he had something up to his head, but I was just so high, I wasn't really trying to process everything that he was doing. But it was just a thought in my head. I said, well, maybe he texting his girl or whatever, trying to, you know, calm the flame down before he get home or whatever. But, you know, and, you know, as we started to, you know, engage a little more further, I kind of looked at his phone. Don't you know when somebody records something and then, you know, it stopped, but then it's a thumbnail, and then in the thumbnail, you know, I was just all a bunch of skin. And I know I'm naked, so I'm thinking, I'm like, what's that? You know, I'm thinking in my head, what you was just watching in your phone? And he's like, oh, nothing. So, you know me, I reached over, you know, being the aggressive person I reached over and grabbed his phone, I pressed the play joint, and it was me. This fool was recording me dancing naked in my own little world, high as hell. I said, oh, hell no. I deleted that shit instantly. I said, you recording me without my cassette? Like, that's like the 3rd time I done caught a guy doing that. I don't understand, like, I don't like that. Granted, they may just be recording, you know, my lower half. Or, well, in his case, he had everything, but it was just the back of me. You know, that kind of creeped me out. Like, why is you recording me without my consent? Like, what is going on with you? Like, you got a hell storm waiting for you when you get home. The last thing you should be worried about doing is recording me. So it kind of threw me for a loop. So like I said, I deleted it or whatever, but I didn't like that. I mean, I'm like, that's like I said, the third time I caught somebody doing that. I ain't like that. I'm like, these phones, I'm telling you, soon everything gonna be recorded. You're not gonna be able to do nothing properly nowadays. Child, that, you know, and it just showed me how he was just so much of a dog. Like, you know, you in the doghouse right now, and you pulling stunts like this. You really don't give a fuck about that girl, and I feel bad for her. Hopefully, you know, she can get herself together where she don't have to rely on him for a place to stay, because he clearly ain't shit. So yeah, that was the little strawberries and lemonade I had to give you guys. Gag Nation, because that's what it definitely was, Gag Nation. Okay? So, yeah, and then you wanna know something? Before the whole situation, I never saw this trans woman a day in my life. You know, after that little situation happened, like maybe a week later, I saw this bitch out and I fucking out. I'm like, that's the same bitch. Like, you know, I just, you know, kept walking past, you know, in my own little bubble. But I realized it was, I don't even think she had noticed me, but I realized it was, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, no saying no shit won't be no shit. Cause I'm not gonna be out here fighting for no good for nothing ass guy. Boy. That's he don't even deserve the title of a man. No good for nothing ass boy. But it was definitely crazy. So yes, that's my Gag Nation situation that I had to fill y'all in on. Yes, the strawberries and lemonade was overflowing, baby. But okay, you guys. That's all I'm going to talk to you about for today. And always remember, if the hate ain't stopping, then you're perfect. Love y'all.
If you want to come better,